The heart has a rhythm no one sees, yet everyone depends on it. Its pulse is fragile, a rhythm that can slip into silence without warning. Break the rhythm and everything collapses. When disrupted, circulation falters, oxygen starves, and life is threatened.
He tossed and turned in restless sleep until a soft whisper brushed against his ear.
Awake, come, touch me.
His eyes snapped open. The room was still, shadows stretching across the walls. He rose slowly, pulse racing, searching for the source of the voice. His gaze landed on the polished snare drum by his bedside, the one he had carefully cleaned before drifting off. Drawn by something he couldn't explain, he reached out. The instant his fingertips grazed its surface, the world shattered into rhythm. Echoes of ancient drums thundered around him, pulling him through time. He stood among distant tribes, each beat summoning fire, war, and worship. Just as suddenly, silence crushed him back into his bedroom. Breathless, heart pounding like the very drums he heard, his eyes darted to the crisp band uniform hanging on the door. Slowly, his panic eased. Staring at the uniform, he remembered. Tomorrow was the final parade, the last chance for his high school band to claim victory and earn a place in the great Cloudiestville State Parade. One performance could change everything. His mother yelled from downstairs.
Mark, are you up? Breakfast is waiting for you.
Remembering what he had went through with, he responds.
Okay, I will be down.
Mark arrived at the school, but didn't move at once. He sat in the car, watching the flurry of excitement as students gathered, uniforms crisp, instruments gleaming under the morning sun. His mother leaned toward him with a smile that carried both comfort and weight. Before he could speak, she whispered,
Don't worry, we'll all be there, cheering for you. Now go, win for all of us.
She kissed his cheek, and he stepped out, his hand gripping the handle of his snare drum. The moment he touched it, the world shifted as time tore open like a curtain, and suddenly he stood in the heart of an ancient plain. Drums thundered like war cries from forgotten tribes, the rhythm carrying the weight of heaven's command. A voice roared through him.
When you play, strike with all your might, for every beat echo in eternity.
He gasped as his band instructor's hand shook him back to reality. The leader barked.
Mark, Harry's sick. We need you to play the bass drum. Bring your snare just in case, but hurry, the bus leaves in a few minutes.
Mark froze, clutching his snare like a lifeline, his thoughts colliding between the present and whatever realm had just claimed him. Muttering under his breath,
What the hell is happening to me?
he followed the order, stepping into the music room. The bass drum wasn't waiting to be moved. Slowly, it rolled forward, as though alive, as though it had been expecting him. Mark stopped in his tracks. The drum tilted, its great face turned toward him, like an ancient eye staring into his soul. Folding his arms, Mark whispered to it.
Look, I get it. You wanted Harry. If anyone touched my snare, I'd be mad too. But we're in the same band, and today both matters to us. Trust me, I'll respect you.
The bass drum rolled back an inch, hesitant, almost defiant. Mark sighed and asked softly,
At least show me where Harry kept his sticks.
As if guided, the drum shifted toward a shelf. Mark's eyes widened when he spotted Harry's name etched above a pair of sticks. He reached for them, twirling them in his hands. The moment the wood touched his skin, thunder cracked across the unseen sky. Time ripped again. He stood beneath a raging storm, rain slicing across his face, lightning carving the heavens. His arms swung with unseen power, as if he were striking the bass drum of creation itself, each beat summoning thunder from the clouds. His heart raced, and a whisper thundered in his spirit.
The rhythm is not yours. It is mine.
A hand clapped his shoulder, and he jumped. The band leader's voice cut through the storm.
Bro! Come on, the bus is waiting!
The bass drum did not resist this time. It allowed itself to be carried, as though it had finally chosen him. Hours later, as the bus hummed down the highway, Mark sat in silence, his thoughts circling the strange visions. Were they dreams or warnings? His hand tightened on the sticks. Suddenly, the bus launched violently, swerving across the road before slamming against a tree. The hood burst open, steam hissing into the air. Students clutched their seats, wide-eyed, shaken. The band instructor stood, glancing around the bus, making sure everyone is okay. He steadied himself, glancing at his watch, his voice low.
We won't make it in time.
The weight of disappointment swept over the students like a fog. Then, with a fire in his eyes, he rose.
Everyone off this bus, now! Get your instruments, we march! If heaven kept us alive in that crash, then heaven means for us to finish this parade. Form up, go!
The students obeyed, and as Mark slung the bass drum onto his shoulders, it didn't resist. Instead, it pulsed against his chest, a heartbeat not his own, ancient, commanding, divine. The band marched. At first, their steps were uncertain, feet stumbling against broken pavement and the sting of exhaustion. Mark's bass drum thundered through the streets, each beat echoing not just against the buildings, but through their very spirits. It wasn't just sound, it was command. The snare joined, the brass lifted, and suddenly the band moved like one unstoppable force. A river of rhythm, surging toward destiny. The traffic pressed, horns blared, but the band held formation. Their instructor yelled,
Eyes forward! Don't let it shake you! We're almost there! Inside a hospital, panic spread like wildfire. The lights flickered once, then darkness swallowed the halls. The generator failed, monitors died. A sharp, unrelenting flatline pierced the silence. A man's heart had stopped. The defibrillator lay useless, powerless in the doctor's trembling hands. Without a second thought, he dropped to the bedside, pressing down, compress, release, fighting the tide of death with every ounce of strength. Nurses counted, traded off, sweat dripping as hope fled from the room. The doctor shouted,
Come on, stay with us!
Another doctor slumped back, eyes hollow, defeated, but in the corner, a single voice refused to surrender. A nurse, hands clasped tight, whispered through tears.
Lord, please, give him life.
And then it began, the rhythm. From the street came the relentless thunder of drums, pounding against the city like heaven's own heartbeat. The walls of the hospital trembled, the emergency room lights flickered in perfect time. A nurse looked out the window and gasped. A marching band was outside, locked at the red light, drums hammering with merciless precision. Mark lifted his eyes toward the hospital. He saw the shadows of despair inside and the clouds above parting. Eyes stared down from eternity, commanding him.
Play harder. Drums! Hit it!
The drum section obeyed. Sticks cracked against heads until blisters split, blood dripping, sweat raining to the pavement. Yet the rhythm did not falter. It grew, stronger, louder, ancient. The air shook as though the drummers of every tribe and every age had joined them, unseen, striking alongside Mark. In the ER, the doctors felt it. Their hands moved in rhythm with the beat outside. Compress, release, compress, release. Each strike of the drum matched each desperate push against the lifeless chest. The defibrillator sparked to life, lights strobed with the drums, the patient's body jolted. Then a gasp, a breath, a pulse, cried, tears streaming.
We got him!
Outside, the crowd erupted, chanting through their own tears. Keep playing, keep playing! Mark's mother stood with her hands clasped, eyes to heaven, seeing what her son saw, the hand of God himself guiding the rhythm. She knew this was no performance. This was a command. Then, as the pulse inside the hospital steadied, the traffic light turned green. Mark dropped his sticks to his side, chest heaving. Mark orders the drum section softly.
Ease it down.
The drums slowed, softened, until silence reclaimed the street.
Forward march!
And so they went, not as a band chasing a parade, but as soldiers who had already won a war. Behind them, life had returned. Before them, destiny awaited. Mark glanced once more to the clouds, whispering,
I understand. Today we march for life.
People poured out of shops and houses, drawn by the sound. Strangers began to cheer, their voices rising as though they had been waiting for this very moment. The parade judges, already preparing to declare the competition forfeited, turned their heads at the roar of music carried on the wind. The band came into view, not from a bus, not in neat formation at the starting line, but from the open road, uniforms dusty, instruments gleaming with fire. They didn't march in defeat. They marched as though heaven itself had cleared the way. When they reached the heart of the parade, the crowd erupted, louder than the band itself. Judges stood, astonished, as the final cadence crashed like thunder rolling through the heavens. Mark raised the sticks one last time, the bass drum answering with a pulse that felt eternal. In the silence that followed, he knew it was not just his hands that had played. It was something greater. The instructor's voice cut through the cheers, trembling with pride.
We did not march here by chance. We marched because heaven willed it.
And Mark, with sweat streaking his face and the weight of the drum pressing against his chest, whispered to himself,
"This rhythm, it belongs to God."
From the beginning of time, rhythm had ceased many wars, cradled broken souls, and stirred nations to rise. But today, in Mark's hands, the drum became more than sound. It was an instrument commanded by God himself, a rhythm from the Ancient of Ages that sustained life in the present day. As it is written, "Thus says the Lord God to these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter you, and you shall live." Ezekiel 37:5. The beat that once thundered in ancient times now echoed in Mark's rhythm, a living testimony that when God commands the drum to sound, even death must yield.
Mixed Emotion is a collaboration of short stories solely created from imagination for entertainment purpose only. In the event these stories may reflect some incidents of reality of any person's life or situations of any institutions is not intended but coincidental. Enjoy Mixed Emotion short stories by VG.